Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Go ahead and take a look at this pitching for today, the 2nd of June. It is Monday. We do have just a 6-game main slate on DraftKings. I haven't looked at FanDuel. They might have included the 5:40 Central Time game, which would have made sense for DraftKings just to do the 7 games. But alas, here we are. My guess is DK kind of uses a 3-hour window whenever possible for their slate, but I get it, leaving off the Rockies, but it would have been nice to have Max Meyer as a pitching option on this particular slate. This is a first look at the pitching options. I will be utilizing DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play FanDuel, I would cut my pool in half or so. You don't have to be as creative. Pricing isn't as tight. Allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. But since we have just 6 games here, I didn't really write anything down. We can jump over to the DraftKings Sportsbook as we get going as well. But weather-wise, my browser now wants to freeze up. 1 second, but weather-wise, we shouldn't have anything to worry about. It didn't really look like a whole lot other than it being warm in Chicago, but the wind blowing in. Warm in Sacramento, slight wind blowing out. Wind's generally always blowing out in San Francisco. Slight wind blowing out in Cincinnati, slight wind in Boston. Probably important because those two ballparks are ones that we try to get offense from generally. So I could see those getting a little more exposed to with 3 games on the West Coast. But again, Sacramento, such a hitter's park so far this season. Let's jump in. Angels, Boston. Just not interested in pitching here, but given the nature of the slate, I think we have to be considering them. I think Richard Fitts works. Through just 3 innings last time out. I assume he went down to the minors in April and continued starting, so we shouldn't worry too much. I guess he only made 1 rehab appearance, so that's obviously something to know here. I do now have to worry about him only getting maybe 60 pitches. Something we probably have to look at as the day goes on, just because we know that the Angels are striking out an absolute ton. I left out the word shit, but they're just striking out a ton. Refresh to get the most updated. Probably still leading baseball, or did Colorado take? Oh, still the lead, striking out plenty over the last few games as well. So the matchup itself is pretty interesting. Fitz and the Red Sox are minus 155 favorites. Looking over here at some props. 3.5K prop juice on the under. That doesn't feel great. Tyler Anderson, 4.5 juice on the over. We might have to play some Tyler Anderson. Fitz doesn't have a win odds prop, which is obviously concerning. So they probably assume that he might not go long enough when they move the odds around. Yeah, he doesn't have an outs prop either. So definitely something to pay attention to as the day goes on. I think Anderson's intriguing enough. Boston can be so-so against left-handed pitching, especially without Bregman. So Anderson might have to make the pool. Singer's had some up and down. I just don't know if we can get there. Walks have been up, strikeouts down. Milwaukee's starting to swing the bat a little better. Came against some left-handed pitching, which is surprising, but still, ballpark is pretty good for hitting. And I just never use Savali. We know that the Reds can strike out with the best of them. They can go through long periods of slumps because power does slump quite a bit. but I just don't have any interest in Savali in this game. Game total 9.5 as well, so probably not the best game for us to target pitching-wise anyways. Both pitchers with K-props at 4.5, juice to the under. And win odds, plus 195 and 200, so I don't think we're missing out on a whole lot by skipping that game from a pitching standpoint. My browser wants to give me problems today, it looks like. Detroit, the White Sox. Flaherty probably going to be the most popular pitcher on the slate. Price is attractive. Obviously, matchup is attractive as well. Dominated the White Sox earlier in the season. He's better at home. He has had some struggles on the road. But still, plenty of upside. Flaherty, number one pitching option on the slate for me. Jonathan Cannon, I don't know that we can go there. He occasionally flashes some decent ability, so maybe we have to consider him on this particular slate. His win odds are plus 295 though. Flaherty's are plus 110. K numbers: Flaherty 6.5 juice to the under. Cannon 4.5 juice to the under. I know there was a little stretch last week where Detroit was striking out a bit. They're actually the fourth most strikeouts in baseball, so maybe. And their K numbers are worse when they're on the road. So I almost feel like we have to consider Cannon, as gross as it feels, given this particular slate. But you just kind of add him into the Tyler Anderson grouping as if we have to. Doesn't feel as exciting. Pitching in San Francisco, something we're always going to target. Even if Webb did struggle against San Diego the first time he faced him. But he's been ridiculous at home. Just 1 home run allowed, 5 earned. Almost a K per inning. His K numbers are better on the road, but I obviously have a theory about that. I talk about that with Robbie Ray quite a bit. You can pitch to contact more in this ballpark. And he's one of the safest bets in general to see the 100 pitch mark. Just going to have to rely on him, even though it is San Diego, who, I mean, they haven't been tearing the cover off the ball either. Kolek has looked bad the last 3 starts after 2 phenomenal starts. Obviously, following up a complete game shutout, he crashed down to earth. Now he gets to pitch in the same ballpark as Webb, so I am going to be interested. Webb's K-prop 4.5 juice to the over, and Kolek's 3.5 juiced over. Game total is 7 on this one. The Giants minus 180. Kolek and the Padres plus 150. But that low total, easily the lowest on the slate, becomes super important to pay attention to. Win odds: plus 135 for Webb, 205 for Kolek. Which isn't terrible, I guess, considering I'm going to be playing some Severino at plus 230. But, again, given the slate of pitching, I think we just have to play Kolek despite the recent trends. Joe Ryan, Luis Severino. Ryan, probably the best overall pitcher on the slate, but pitching in Sacramento, he can have a home run issue, which is a big worry in this ballpark with how warm it is, wind blowing out. He can have a length issue because of nothing on his part, but the coaching staff is dumb. I'll just put it that way. Has plenty of K upside. The A's do strike out enough. I don't think they started out the season as lower, but I feel like recently they've had some higher strikeout games. I mean, I know for a fact they've had some higher strikeout games recently, so I think they're trending up in those strikeout numbers. I think somebody quoted yesterday in our Discord that over the last 7 days they struck out the most in baseball. So, Joe Ryan certainly going to be in play. It's just a volatile spot. The Twins are minus 162 favorites. K-prop at 6.5, juice to the over. Super strong K-prop for him on this slate, and he is plus 125 during the W, which is the second best number behind Flaherty. Kind of says quite a bit to me. On the other side, Severino, I am going to play him because the Twins can struggle. And we might be all right with getting 16 to 18 points from both of our SPs. I want to say our SP2, but with the way pitching is tonight, maybe. I mean, there are a couple of you guys that could get us to 25 to 28 or more, but that SP2 for sure, we might be able to survive with 16 to 18 fantasy points this evening. Severino's K-prop at 4.5 juice to the over, and win odds plus 230, like I mentioned, which is kind of some extreme numbers. But given the slate, I think we just have to play Severino as well. I don't feel great about it. I'd put him in a slightly better version of Tyler Anderson, really, even given the ballpark issue. Dodgers coming off of getting shut down by Ryan Yarbrough. I'm just not going to play Paul Blackburn. Looked decent in his minor league rehab starts, but I'm just not going to play him. Making his season debut in LA. Thus, May has been strong the last couple. Strikeouts are up for him. 8+ in 3 straight starts. I don't really want to pick on the Mets with somebody like May, but I think I have to. Plus 135 to earn the W, which to me is a pretty strong number. K-prop of 5.5, but juice to the under. Game total is 9 in LA, juiced over, which a little surprising, but I do think May is certainly in play. With the increased strikeout numbers, it's very intriguing. Problem is like, I don't know, maybe he's trying to pick up strikeouts more, and it's taking away from his ground ball ability, and now he's allowing a few more fly balls at times. But if he's going to be able to have performances like these from a fantasy point number, by all means, go for it. He's allowing more home runs, so I think, he might have made some sort of change in the way that he attacks hitters. So, but there we have it. There's a look at the pitching options on the slate. Did go a little longer for just 6 games, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the content, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below. Let us know how you think some of these guys are going to do tonight. Hit the notification bell so you get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. And if you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will drop links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.